Welcome to Study Loop.
To answer this question, we simply have to use our table that is given with the codon in the mRNA, which let's just define what a codon is first. The codon is a 3-nucleotide sequence in our mRNA that codes, okay, so that's where we get codon, that codes for a specific amino acid. And of course, it's not that the amino acid is only going to consist of 3 nucleotides, but we know that the tRNA with that specific amino acid will be able to recognize the specific 3-nucleotide sequence that is the codon. And it will bring its amino acid that is attached to it to that mRNA. And at that site, you're going to have your ribosome that will attach the amino acid, transferring it from the tRNA to this growing amino acid polypeptide chain. So what we are tasked with is using our table and simply identifying what these codons are going to code for in terms of amino acids. So we're basically translating using our table from the nucleotide sequence that we are given into the language of proteins, which is amino acid polypeptide sequences. So all that we have to simply do is look at our sequence and identify what those each set of 3 letters is going to represent, and of course moving in the 5' to 3' direction. So let's start out with the first sequence. Okay, so for the first sequence, we have UCG, and if we look at our table, we know that UCG codes for serine. So we write down serine, and then we look at the next set of 3 letters, GCA, and we look for it in the table, and we find, oh, well, that is going to be alanine. And then followed by AAU, so that's asparagine. And then you have UUA, which is leucine. And at the very end, you have GUU, which is valine. Okay, so you're going to repeat this process for the following 2 mRNA sequences. So we get serine, alanine, asparagine, leucine, valine. And for our third sequence, we get serine, alanine, and finally, we have asparagine. But you might be thinking, well, what about the very last codon? What is UAA? Well, UAA is a stop codon. So that means that there is no amino acid that's added there. So we are essentially going to stop on asparagine. So after this, we might want to add something else, but there's nothing else to add because the stop codon is not a specific amino acid. Instead, it is basically telling us to attach a specific tRNA that will allow our mRNA and newly synthesized amino acid polypeptide to dissociate from the ribosome. So therefore, we can call this a stop codon, and that will terminate our translation. So that means that the correct answer choice here is answer choice A.